All right. All right. Good evening, seniors and senior families. Thank you for being here with us tonight. My name is Mr. Sampson. I am the assistant principal of activities and also joining us tonight. Good evening, give me 1 second. I need to fix that. Families. Thank you for. So and then we have our rep from Jostens, Mark Boyer, with us as well. So give me 1 second. Okay, so some exciting information to share with you all this evening. We are only going to be on for about 20 minutes or so, so it's going to be a relatively quick presentation. Again, if you have anyone that is frantically trying to figure out information or couldn't be here with us tonight, no worries. This is being recorded and anybody can rewatch it as well. So if there's any moment in time that there's a question that came up that you didn't catch, you can always rewatch it. There was an email. First thing, actually, just something to share on behalf of our College and Career Center and our counselors. There is the FAFSA race to submit. So seniors, complete your application by October 8th, and you can be entered into a drawing to win $30 Red Robin gift card. So once completed, again, bring it to the confirmation email to Miss Went in the Counseling Center. And again, that's a great opportunity for our seniors that we wanted to share. So again, our rep is Mark Boyer. He has sent out communications on what to do. So if you did not receive that email for whatever chance, so when he got our information for our seniors, it's just the primary email. So maybe there might be something that happened with that email, or if you didn't get it, no worries at all. Again, just make sure to email out to mark.boyer@jostens.com and he can get you and forward that email so that you have all the necessary links. But with that, I am going to stop sharing because you are here to hear from Mark, and he is going to share with you all some information about graduation products. So introducing to you all, Mark Boyer.
Going to stop muting myself really quick, and then I'll go ahead and go back to that stop share. Thank you, everybody. So I'm going to try to go through this as concise as possible. Most of the information was on that content I sent out this morning. So like Mr. Sampson said, if you didn't get it, just send me an email, just say, please send me the info. I sent it to myself, so I will forward it out to you. And then you'll be able to have all the direct hyperlinks. But I want to kind of start with the end in mind. I'm going to talk on 4 main things. And then at the end of my presentation, I'm going to go live to jostens.com just to show how to maneuver through the website, because there are a lot of things on that website. And from some of the other schools I've worked with over the past few weeks, I'm going to try to answer some of the commonly asked questions. So we're going to talk cap and gown, graduation announcements, class jewelry, and then senior keepsakes and apparel. And so the most important of that is going to be the cap and gown. And so when you go to the website, using the hyperlink I sent out, it's going to kind of gear you towards this shark package, which is just a combination of the most popular items last year's seniors ordered. It's not mandatory. When you're on the website, it's going to look just like this screen. The nice thing about it, though, is it gives you an idea of all of the items available. So even if it's not something you order, you can kind of look at it to see what popular items are grouped together. So I'm actually going to spend about my next 7 or 8 slides going over the items in the shark package, because it will help with this presentation. And that most important thing is going to be your cap and gown unit. So the most important thing for me to explain is that every graduating senior at Santiago High School has to be in a cap, gown, and tassel in order to participate in the ceremony. You have 2 options. You can purchase the set of cap, gown, and tassel, which is a price of $40.95, and then you get to keep all 3 items. Or you can borrow all 3 items, cap, gown, and tassel. There's absolutely no fee, and then you'll have to return all 3 of the items, including the tassel, after graduation, usually the following day, when you go to pick up your diploma back on campus. When I go live to jostens.com, I'll show you where you make that individual selection, because that's probably the most common question asked. The $40.95 price is a district contract price. And at Santiago High School, the students get a custom gown that's in both colors of black and teal. So the majority of the gown is black. It's going to have teal stripes going down the center, and the end of both sleeves are going to be in teal as well. So if you purchase that set, you get to keep that along with the cap and the tassel. If you borrow it, you'll get the same 3 items. We'll just be asking for all 3 of those items back. 3 years ago, I created a custom tassel that's not pictured on the website. It's simply called the shark tassel, but because it shows a generic picture on the website, I try to do my best of taking a picture of it. It essentially has the same crest that's going to be on your graduation announcement and your official diploma. And then you're going to see in the screen here all 3 of the school colors that are in the tassel. And those 3 colors are black, teal, and white. This particular tassel that you're seeing on your screen right now is not the one that automatically comes hooked on the cap. This is an optional upgrade that you can order within any of the packages, including the shark package. In a few slides, I'll show you what the variety of tassels are that are available and what the charm looks like that comes on the actual tassel that's hooked on your cap and gown unit. So the most important thing through this process is, after this meeting and the communication I sent out this morning, I don't have a lot of ways to reach out to you as either the parent or the student. So the biggest thing I say to every school I work with, please make sure that you understand, if you don't go through this process and either purchase or borrow your cap and gown unit, there is not one that automatically gets ordered for you. In years past, we've handed out the caps and gowns usually a few weeks before graduation. That way, if you want to take your own individual pictures with them before graduation, you can do that. But if you don't place your order, there will be nothing for you to come and pick up. So that's why we go through this process. And some people ask why we do this in October. It's a custom gown. I work with over 100 high schools in the San Diego and Riverside area. I don't have any other high schools that use this same color gown. So I can't just pull from another high school to be able to provide one for you if you don't place your order. So that's the reason we do this ordering process. And that's why the school gives me this opportunity to do this, I'd say face-to-face, but virtually face-to-face. So that's everything on the cap and gown. But again, at the end, I'll go live to jostens.com to show you where you find that. Second item I want to talk on is about graduation announcements. So on the website, you'll see the custom image of this year's graduation announcement. This was designed by the class officers, and there were a few of them that helped design this. And so when parents often say, like, whether they like it or not, these were designed by the students who were voted to make these types of decisions. Interestingly enough, in the time I've done this, I've noticed less and less people have a full understanding of what the graduation announcement is. So the brief explanation is the graduation announcement is the formal way of announcing to your family and friends that you're graduating. It's not actually inviting anybody to the ceremony. It's basically just saying, hey, I've graduated. This is a really big deal, and I want to celebrate it. And so you send them out to all of your family and friends. The greatest thing about these is they're individually $1.70 each. And for that price, it comes with 2 envelopes. It comes with an inner and outer envelope. The inner envelope will be black to match the paper of the announcement, and the outer envelope will be white, so it's easier for you to address it. If you order the shark package, you're going to get all 3 things I've already talked about. You'll get the cap and gown unit, you'll get that custom shark tassel, and we'll give you 25 of these graduation announcements. In that shark package, we'll also give you 2 items to make it easier to send out your announcements. We'll give you name cards, so it's personalized with your name. We'll give you a return address label, so you don't have to spend a bunch of time writing your own address out. The rest of the items in the shark package, there's 4 of them, are designated specifically for the senior so that you can kind of commemorate in a slightly better fashion the fact that this is your class, the graduating class of 2022. So we're going to give you a choice of hoodie, and there's 3 of them. There's the Cozy Crew, which is a brand new item. It's not actually a hoodie. It doesn't have a hood. Interestingly enough, this has been our most popular apparel item so far at the schools I've already presented to, and I've been to about 20. So the Cozy Crew is one option. The pullover hoodie is another option. And the final option is the performance hoodie. Well, you'll get the option to select one of these 3. We'll simply ship it to your home. It takes about 1.5 weeks to 2 weeks, so you'll have it around the middle of October. Also give you a senior bag, and the running joke I say with this is that way when you wear it around you, when the underclassmen see that you're a senior, they tend to leave you alone because they see that you're branded as a senior. Give you a year-dated key ring so you have something for your car keys or your house keys. And then we're going to let you choose an extra tassel. And this is the screen where I want to take just a moment and focus on, because on the website, you're going to see there are a bunch of tassels available. Why? They're relatively inexpensive. They're custom to the school, and they're just kind of a tradition. There are 2 tassels, though. The first 2 you can see pictured are actually called shadow tassels. So the first one is the shadow status tassel. Right next to it is the shadow stack. When it says the word shadow, they will come just like you see them in all black. Why? They're just popular, but they have no school affiliation. They just have class affiliation. Every other tassel on the website is going to be in the same school colors that I showed you on that custom shark tassel, where the tassel threads will be black, teal, and silver, or black, teal, and white. So that 3rd tassel is a status tassel, so it'll have rhinestones in the year date. The 4th tassel is called the stacked tassel, it just has that bold vertical year date. The one on the far right, I want you to mostly focus on that charm that has that simple looking tutu. That's what the tassel charm looks like on the tassel you get that comes with the cap and gown unit. So every senior will get that tassel hooked on their cap. All the extras are souvenirs that you can use for any reason. Probably the most popular is hanging them in the rearview mirror of your car. A couple other paper items I just want to touch on briefly. A new item we created this year called Announcements Plus. It's essentially just a QR code sticker, but the technology behind it allows you to individually personalize a video message that you can send out to each individual person you're sending announcements out to. So instead of just having a paper announcement that the recipient gets, they can use their phone, scan that QR code, and watch a video that you or your student preferably recorded. It kind of says thank you to them for how they've influenced their life. Photo cards are extremely popular. They've actually become more popular than the traditional announcements. We have hundreds of designs. We're the only company that has authorization to use the school's logo, much like on the paper graduation announcement. When you're ordering these now, you're not actually designing the actual pictures that go on there. You're just ordering credits. So that way later in the school year, once you have the pictures figured out that you want to put on your photo cards, you can upload them, design your photo cards, and these will ship to your home separate from any other part of the order. That way you don't have to have a specific timeline on when you want to design those. And the last paper product I'll mention is thank you cards. I purposely did not put thank you cards in most of the graduation packages we created, including the shark package. And the reason for that is I didn't want that package price to be too high. I think many places sell thank you cards. Oftentimes families have them already at their home from weddings and other things. So just kind of a plug there that if you do order announcements, you might consider getting thank you cards either from us or anywhere, because if you don't thank somebody now, if they send you a gift or money for sending your announcements, they likely won't send you anything the next time you have a big accomplishment. So that's kind of that. That 3rd item, when we talk about the senior apparel and keepsakes, I'm going to go through these slides relatively quickly. The main thing I want to impress upon you when it comes to all of the Jostens gear These are senior specific items. They are not school specific items. So they are not going to be branded Santiago High School. They're not intended to compete with the items you can order at Santiago High School. All of our items are geared for the class of 2022, so you can differentiate yourself from the freshmen, sophomore, and juniors, so you can be the best dressed group on campus. Every single one of these apparel and keepsake items you're currently seeing going through on your screen are items that if you order, we will ship them to your house. They take literally about a week and a half to 2 weeks. So that way you can be fully branded with everything we offer that shows that you're a senior, class of 2022. And the best part is when you check out, after you place your whole order, you don't even have to pay in full. We offer payment plans that have no interest. So you can do a payment plan, for example, of a 3-month payment plan. But once your first payment goes through, which it does the day you place your order, we will still ship you all the fun section announcements and the cap and gown. So last item is a little bit about our class jewelry. This is probably the hardest thing to talk about in a Zoom type setting. So the main thing I want to impress upon you is as Jostens, we do not have any of our jewelry that's already pre-made sitting on a shelf. Every one of our jewelry items is custom created for the individual, by the individual. And so you're going to see a QR code link come up here. I would say you probably don't need this actual QR code link because the hyperlink's already going to be in the email I sent out this morning. But if you look at the upper right-hand corner where it shows that custom ring image, our website allows you to custom create any design. As you customize it, you'll see exactly what it looks like as a finished product. So you'll know exactly what it's going to look like before you've even ordered it. So the one thing you probably won't know is your finger size, something we added last school year because of COVID. If you click unknown for your finger size, we will actually mail you a disposable ring sizer so you can figure out your finger size. When you check out, you'll still be able to either make your full payment or a deposit. We'll mail you that disposable ring sizer, and then we'll reach out to you about a week after we send it to ask you what that ring size is so that you can better take care of it. As I kind of wrap up before I go live to jostens.com, I want to make sure you're aware I try to make many opportunities for you to get a hold of me or my office during this week because I know what to do, but I can't expect everybody that's listening to me to know what to do because for most of you, this is the first or possibly the only time you're going to go through this process either as a parent or a student. So the message I sent out this morning is going to have my email address, it's going to have my phone number, and it's going to have all of the hyperlinks to our website. I use Instagram as well, and it's not because I enjoy it, but because most high school students have an Instagram account. So this might be the one screen if you're on your phone or computer, you can take a screenshot of. You can reach out to me with any messages. What I found statistically is the average high school student does their shopping between the hours of 9 p.m. and midnight. You cannot get a hold of me over the phone between 9 p.m. and midnight. You could probably still get a hold of me via email, but I usually go to bed around the 11 o'clock hour. So if you have a question between now and the end of the day on Friday during this thing we're calling Senior Week, which I'll explain in a moment, just send me a message. This is my Instagram handle. I do giveaways throughout the year, but I'm not really concerned if you follow me or not. I just want to make sure there's as many opportunities for you to reach out to me as possible. I mentioned there's payment plans. There's no fee for these. So as long as you spend a minimum of $125, we can push out your payments over the course of 3 monthly payment plans. So if your order total is $150, for example, you'll see a $50 charge once a month for 3 months. Like I mentioned before, if you order any items that we consider pre-delivered or drop ship or we'll send to your home, we'll send them to you right away. And then whatever day of the month that first payment comes out on, the next 2 payments will come out on the same day of the following 2 months. We're also connected with PayPal. So as long as you spend $99, you can make your payment through PayPal. And that way between Jostens and you, we consider you paid in full. And then you make your payment arrangements with PayPal. The video I sent out this morning was actually recorded by a good friend of mine whose name is Christian. His territory is in the Palm Springs area, and we run our businesses very similarly. We train together and all those types of things. In his video, he mentions, if you order a class jewelry item, you will get a free cap counted tassel. That is not something that automatically happens online, so it tends to cause a lot of questions. So I created in that email I sent out, I put a little blurb that you can, instead of getting a free cap and gown, when you check out ordering your class jewelry item, if you use the code SENIORGIFT40, it will just take $40 off your jewelry order, which is essentially the same value as your cap and gown unit. The biggest thing I need to make sure you're aware of is you don't get both discounts. So if you use the code to get $40 off, and then you reach out to me to say, hey, I ordered my ring, I'd like my capping gown free, and I see that you took the $40 off, we won't be able to apply both discounts. So my recommendation is that if you order a jewelry item, you also just order and pay for your capping gown unit, and then just use the code SENIORGIFT40 to take that $40 off your jewelry item. So my last slide is just going to be about this idea we call Senior Week. The email I sent out this morning and the text message I sent out talks about Senior Week, and it basically says you have until the end of the day Friday to place your order. Why? I work with over 100 high schools, so I need to be able to manage that appropriately. So I have Santiago High School looped in with 2 other high schools I work with. So my office and myself knows that if anybody from Santiago High School reaches out to me this week, you will get priority in your responses over other high schools who already had their Senior Week. It allows me to manage, because with over 100 high schools and servicing over 20,000 seniors, it's a lot of work. So I do that intentionally. So all the best prices as well are going to be during this thing we call Senior Week. So basically started this morning, goes through midnight Friday night. So we're just asking that you place your order this week. And if you have any questions between now and then, please reach out to me. Some of you already have. I literally keep my phone in front of me all day long, and I do my best to try to get back to people within minutes. So I'm going to do a quick stop share, and then I'm going to go to live to jostens.com so that I can show how the website maneuvers. So the hyperlink I sent out through that technology that is called VidReach is going to take you to this exact page. It's going to mention that you have till Friday, October 8th. It does say class jewelry, but that kind of ties in everything. So basically what you're going to do is, whether you're on a computer or a phone, your experience is going to be a little bit different. I'm showing you the version on a desktop computer, or this is actually my laptop, and I'm using a dual monitor. You're going to have a lot more space left to right. So one of the biggest questions I've been answering from parents and students is that you cannot find how you go into all the items. So as you scroll down, you're going to see this tab here that says 2022 yearbook, class jewelry, and graduation. On a computer, it's very easy to see all 3 of these. If you're doing your ordering from your phone, it's only going to show 2022 yearbook. And there's going to be these little dots down below. You're literally just going to slide to the right and you'll see class jewelry, slide to the right again and you'll see graduation. To get into the announcements and cap and gown and apparel and everything I talked about, with the exception of class jewelry, you're going to want to click on graduation. And this is now going to open up everything that I've been going through in that presentation, including that shark package. And it's very interactive. So if you want to see kind of a blown up picture of what the announcement looks like, you just click on the picture. It's going to give you a nice full page picture of it. If you don't want this shark package, you just scroll down a little bit. You're going to see some other graduation packages we put together. This does a side-by-side comparison so you can see the items available. Obviously, the check mark lets you know if it comes with it or not. If you don't want any of these graduation packages, this button right here that says Shop Now is where you want to go. So if you click Shop Now, it's going to actually open a video that I have to mute here so you don't have to hear it. But then it's going to have our final 3 graduation packages. These do not have graduation announcements. They just have capping gown related items. But then you're going to go down here and it's going to have everything individually. So if you don't like one of the 7 graduation packages I created for you, this is where you'll start. I'm going to go back to this, but for a brief moment, I'm going to scroll past it. Everything individually, from the shark tassel to the graduation announcements, to the photo cards, to all of the apparel, everything here is going to be on this screen. There's really nothing after this screen. You're just going to be basically building a cart, much like if you shopped at Amazon or anywhere else where you're shopping for multiple items. But I don't get to control the layout of the website. I just know how to maneuver through it. So I do want to show you. This is that cap and gown unit, $40.95. This is kind of the minimum in order for you to participate in the ceremony. This is going to be the cap, the gown, the souvenir tassel, which has that regular 22 charm on it. And if you want to purchase it, you're just going to go here and put in your height, your weight. It does ask for gender. And I know California, there's gender sensitivity, so I do apologize. But as a company, we service schools all across the United States. Whether you put male or female, it's not going to change anything with the cap and gown. The only thing that affects it is the height and weight. The height goes in 3-inch increments, as you can see here. The weight goes in 20-pound increments starting at 159 or less, and then it goes in 20-pound increments. The gown is not form-fitting, so if you weigh much less than 159, don't freak out if you weigh 100 pounds thinking it's going to be huge. They're not form-fitting. It's not going to fit like a prom dress or a tuxedo. If you want to borrow, and this is where I get the most questions if you want to borrow, And this is the part where I wish I had more control, but I don't. Just scroll down without clicking on anything, and you're going to see borrowable product right here. If you click on borrow cap and gown, it's going to open up another screen where you're just going to basically give me your name, your email address, a phone number, your height and weight, and it will not ask you for any financial information. That will come to me in an email. I will then order you a cap, gown, and tassel. You'll be added to our borrow list. That way we know that you're borrowing. We can communicate that information with the school. And that way, when we go to collect caps and gowns after graduation, the school and Jostens knows which students have to return those 3 pieces and which students get to keep all 3 of those pieces. So hopefully I kept that pretty short. It's 5:54. I'm going to go ahead. I think Mr. Sampson might have a couple closing comments, but if you have any questions, I know he put my email address at the beginning. It's mark.boyer@jostens.com. If you did not receive the communication, just send me the quickest email and just say, hey, send me the info for Santiago. I'll forward it to you since I sent myself a copy. That way you have all the hyperlinks and everything you need to go ahead and start your shopping experience. With that being said, thank you for letting me entertain you this evening, and good luck with your ordering this week. Thank you.
So Mark, we had a couple questions. A couple parents have and students have utilized the Google form that went out. So thank you for that. So a question popped up is, what is the expected arrival time for orders of cap, gown, tassel, and class ring if ordered by this Friday?
Awesome. So if you order a class ring, typically the lead time is anywhere between 5 and 8 weeks. And that actually just depends on which style of ring you order. This time of year is when we sell most of our jewelry. And so you're probably going to be in that 6 to 7 week average. If you do a full payment, it'll just ship to your home when it's done. If you do one of those payment plans, like the 3-month payment plan, once the 3rd payment goes through, then we'll ship the ring to your home. Mr. Sampson, you might be able to help me confirm the distribution of caps and gowns, but it's usually around the end of April or the first part of May. And we've typically done that in the foyer of the theater at the campus. Is that still what we're thinking of doing?
Correct. Yes, we haven't finalized that date with Jostens as far as when that will be, but that is roughly around that time. You definitely have Santiago wants our students to enjoy their cap and gown, have opportunities for pictures. So we do distribute relatively early. So it's not something that you'll have to wait until the end of May to get. It should be right around, as Mark said, right around that April, very early May time schedule.
Yeah, and if you've ordered graduation announcements and we have the cap and gown distribution the end of April, that's when we'll also hand out the graduation announcements. If we end up having a much later distribution of caps and gowns, we'll just have a separate distribution of the graduation announcements still in April. We try to deliver them about 6 to 7 weeks before graduation, so you have ample time to send them out to family and friends.
And then I think this next question, we just kind of touched on it, but there might be a couple things that you can elaborate as far as what is sent by mail and what is not. But they said, where will the student pick up orders on campus, received by mail? And if a student picks up on campus, what will they need to have with them? Okay,
so the earliest any item would get shipped to your home would be if you order things like a t-shirt, a hoodie, a beanie, mostly apparel items, and a couple keepsake items, like there was a big deluxe graduation frame or some of the less expensive senior jewelry. They're usually in about the $30 range. Those will ship home in about 2 weeks, and they'll go straight to the address that you provide when you check out. That's the earliest you'll get anything. The class rings, like I mentioned, anywhere from that 5 to 8 week time frame, delivered right to your home. The only other thing that might actually go to your house is if you order an item we call a diploma plaque. It's a replica of your actual diploma. It's not in any packages, but you can individually order it. And that would ship to your home after graduation because it's a legal document. Everything else gets delivered on campus. And there's really just 2 main items. It's the paper products, which is primarily the custom graduation announcement, and the cap and gown unit. And in the last 2 or 3 years, even during COVID, we've been able to distribute those at the same time. And that way, when the student comes up, the only thing they have to show, and correct me if I'm wrong, Mr. Sampson, but is a school ID.
Correct. Yep. So as long as students can give us their physical ID, because we have to be able to take it, because oftentimes there may be similar last names. There may be two people with the exact same name. So we need to verify that we're grabbing the right package for the right student. So we'd rather prefer not to grab cell phones. I know that oftentimes our students like to have a picture of their ID saved on their phone for whatever purposes, which is great. But for anything that's happening with campuses, I cannot stress it enough to our seniors. You will need your ID card very frequently. So please make sure you always have your physical ID card on you as per our school policy, but specifically for those days that we're doing things with senior specific, such as releasing grad products, diploma distribution, all those things.
A question that may come up now that we've said that is, let's say we set that date in April and your student misses it. We've usually utilized the school's Shark Shop, and so we'll leave any undelivered items, whether it be announcements, capping out, or both, with the employees at the Shark Shop. And then during the school day, whenever that Shark Shop is open, then the students can come and pick those up over the next few days. As I see Mr. Sampson nodding his head in agreement, so I think that's the same idea for this school year.
Correct. And I think, let me double check, make sure. Oh, we did get one final question that got dropped in. Can you borrow everything and just purchase a cap?
So that's a very tough thing to answer. So here's the easy answer is there's no way on the website to indicate that. It's supposed to be an all or nothing process. And the reason for that is this. The day after graduation, when every senior comes to pick up their diploma, it's already a little bit chaotic. So there's a lot of volunteers that help, usually counselors that are handing out diplomas based on alphabet range. So they're going to have every senior's name, and it's either going to say they have to return everything or they have to return nothing. I'm there during that period of time. So if your intent is to only purchase a cap or only purchase a tassel, you would just borrow the whole unit for now. And then when you go to pick up your diploma, that's the time where you'll just tell somebody at the school, hey, I just want to buy my cap. I'm going to be there. They'll have you step to the side. We'll do an individual financial transaction, and then we'll let you take your diploma. So it does create a little bit more work that day, but that way we're not having some students that are just returning a cap, some that are just returning a gown. It's either all or nothing. So hopefully that answers your question, but we will be able to accommodate you. It just has to be done a slightly different way than what you might like.
Great. So with that, families, again, we want to thank you all for joining us. Again, if you are trying to get in some questions right now, no worries. Either email them to Mark, swing by the Shark Shop. We are happy to help. I know there are going to be many questions, especially specific what is happening second semester. I know that several people have dropped in the Jostens Q&As. Just what does senior week look like? When's graduation? All those different things. We're going to get to all of that. I promise. We're just still finalizing details. Seniors should expect in early, when we report back to school after winter break in January, seniors will be given what's called a senior brochure, where it just outlines everything that they need to know for that last semester of their high school careers. So that is going to share tons of information. We're going to be releasing a couple things, mainly probably specifically information about grad night and information about graduation and different things like that in the coming weeks, just so that things can be planned. Specifically, I know that a lot of families just want to know when and where graduation is. So we're just trying to coordinate and finalize those details with district, and that is all coming out. So very exciting information to share with you all. So just with that, again, I want to thank Mark for his time. And again, we are very pleased to have the partnership with Jostens. They always produce great things for our seniors, high quality things. So it's just a great partnership that we're excited to have with them. So again, if you have any questions, the email is great, or again, swing by Shark Shop. But with that, seniors, that is it for tonight's presentation. This will be emailed out, this link out to everyone as well. So if you need to rewatch it, feel free. But have a great and safe evening, and go Sharks.